If anybody sees anybody in the hallway, can you drag them back in here, please? Hello, hello. What time is it anyway? Is it 2? 2? Ahmad, can you round up the troops? And Tamina, because she has to moderate. Hi, everyone. Can I please ask everyone to take their seats so we can start, so then we can end on time as well? Thank you. Maham, Khalid, can you please get people to come back into the auditorium, please? Come on in, come on in. Dion, can you help get some people back in place, please? Use your lasso. Yeah, I will. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for those who have made it back to their seats. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch. I know I did. And feeling very guilty for eating the dessert as well. I hope you all had a chance to meet some people, make some nice introductions and connections, and take it beyond the event today. So our next event is going to be the BIPOC Women Founders Igniting Entrepreneurship Ecosystem. So earlier we had such a rousing conversation about why do BIPOC people suffer and struggle? You know, what are the challenges? Then there seem to be many. You add women to the mix, and it's a whole new dynamic kettle of fish. So we're going to be talking to a few women entrepreneurs who I'll be bringing up on stage shortly. And Temina Chowdhury is going to be the moderator. So Temina, if you would like to come up. And everybody knows Temina. The next panelist I would like to call up is Ejibola Adetokunbo. I hope I didn't destroy your name. So Ejibola is the CEO and founder of Simply Ejibola. She's a proud Black entrepreneur, an entrepreneurship consultant, a business coach, and a women entrepreneur advocate. Welcome, Ejibola, to the stage. Our next panelist is Hanan Nana. She's the founder of BAM Book Art Music Collective, an award-winning refugee and proud new Canadian dedicated to empowering refugees and underrepresented women and youth to access decision-making and political inclusion. Welcome, Hanan. Thank you. Cynthia Ene, founder of Nunafab. Cynthia is a professional engineer, a serial entrepreneur, and a woman in trades construction. Cynthia has experience in managing large infrastructure projects in Canada's north. Wow. Sabine Sumer, Executive Director, Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. Sabine Sumer is the Executive Director of the Women Entrepreneur Knowledge Hub at Diversity Institute. In this role, she collaborates with 10 WEKH regional hubs and over 250 partners to build partnerships and share knowledge and best practices that strengthen the women's entrepreneurship ecosystem. Welcome to the stage. And the last panelist is another Sabine, Sabine Alam, owner and CEO of Blackstone Steakhouse and Grill. I propose we have our next event at her restaurant. So Sabine is the owner and CEO of Blackstone Steakhouse and Grill, providing fine dining experience to Muslim community at large, operating out of 3 locations in the GTA and now expanding. Proud mother of 4 beautiful souls, socialpreneur at heart, and spiritually driven and passionate about life. Welcome, Sabine. So I will hand it over to Temina to kick off the discussion.
Okay. Thank you. You must be wondering why 5 women. Because each one brings a lot of different background and experience, and I want all of them to be at the stage. Thank you so much, everyone joining us. So I would like to start with a saying that a tree stands tall not because of its branches, but because of its roots. And today we gather to celebrate those roots, the resilience, courage, and vision that immigrant and BIPOC entrepreneurs, especially women, bring to the table. And that's just, we have been talking about, getting seat at the table. So I would like all of you to just say a few words about introducing yourself and your why. Just telling, what you do, but at the same time, why you do what you do.
I have the mic, so okay. I can probably start. So my name is Sabine Soumare. I'm the Executive Director of the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, also called WEC, at the Toronto Metropolitan University. So my journey started 14 years ago. I'm from France, and I landed here in Toronto. I mostly worked in the nonprofit sector, but also the public sector. I specifically focused on Francophone community, immigrants, minority groups, And when I worked for a couple of cabinet ministers, my goal was really to put forward the issues faced by minorities, making sure that the government understands, the ministers understands, and we take clear action to support the whole community. And now today I'm the executive director of WEC, and I'm also an entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, being the voice and the ears of the whole ecosystem is important for me. And I'm very, very pleased to be here today, surrounded by other entrepreneurs and also organizations supporting them. So thank you for having me.
Hi everyone, my name is Ejibola Adetokunbo Taiwo. I'm a banker turned entrepreneur. Originally from Nigeria, but I've lived in Canada for over 19 years now. And I'm the CEO of Simply Ejibola Incorporated. By the way, Ejibola means amazing. So I'm the CEO Simply Ejibola Incorporated. I'm the CEO Simply Ejibola Consulting, and I'm the founder, principal lead consultant for the Sedulous Women Leaders, where we empower and train and connect women that are in the CPG in all categories with big box stores. I'm really excited to be here, and I can't wait to share our stories with everybody.
Hi everyone, my name is Hanan, and I came from Syria as a refugee back in 2016, and I'm a proud new Canadian. Very happy to join this panel, and I feel like I've met some of you, but also I'm learning about all of you, and it's good to be on a stage with amazing women that should be always celebrated, not just today. I'm the founder and director of BAM Collective. It stands Books, Art, Music Collective. We're a youth organization working on empowering equity-deserving communities to engage in their communities, access decision-making opportunities through art, innovation, policy, and community. I'm also the founder of, one of the founding members, of Word Collective. Word means flowers, and it's a social enterprise that invested in newcomers and refugees to train as florists and work as entrepreneurs in Canada. My background also political. I did work also in politics as a senior advisor, and I did advise on bridging gaps between communities, specifically ethnic communities. And currently, I'm back to the public service as well. So I wear too many hats, but the why for me was that no one was willing to fill in the gap for my community and for the challenges that I go through as a newcomer and refugee woman. So I had to do it myself and inspire others to do.
Really happy to be here. And you know what? I want to start off by saying we are few in the room, so I want to use this time as best possible to answer people's questions. Like if there's something that is meaningful for you and that adds value to you, don't be shy to ask. My name is Cynthia Ene. I have started and run a few companies in my life, and this is a startup that I'm working on called Nunafab. Many years ago, as a licensed professional engineer, I had the opportunity to go up to the territory of Nunavut. And while living there with Indigenous people, I saw the need for affordable housing. Frankly, I see the need for affordable housing here in the GTA also. But while there, I put rather than complain when you see a gap and be part of the problem, my stance was be part of the solution and start solving the gap. And to me, that's what entrepreneurship is. If you see a gap in product or a gap in service that is not fulfilled or not met, and you think you're the best person to do it, stand up and do that. And that's what I did. I started building homes I'd never built before. I learned a lot, failed a few times, picked back up, and now we have a portfolio of commercial and residential development. We not only build and sell to the territory of Nunavut, but we also operate affordable housing in the territory. And now we are developing materials engineering for that space.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sabine Alum. Thank you for still sticking around after lunch. I appreciate that. I would call myself a seniorpreneur. Actually, my journey started at a very young age. I'm a social worker by profession, but an entrepreneur by heart. Always wanted to do business, just to know where to start. was fortunate enough to, through the journey of my life, learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, took a lot of small business initiatives, and we can talk about that later. But today I'm a business owner and CEO, founder of Blackstone Steakhouse and Grill. How many are in the food industry here? Nobody? Okay, no, it's okay. I'll take you over the journey with me, no problem. So it's a very challenging industry to be in, and to survive that industry is a next level challenge. Restaurants fail within the 5 years of opening up, especially when you have a new concept. So our concept was to cater to the Muslim community. It's a steakhouse, it's a specialty that we cater to, and we're in our 7th year and doing well so far. Thank you.
So amazing journey for all of you, and fortunately I know all of you personally, not much about Cynthia, but I would like to share a little about everyone. So Ejibula is helping a lot of other women to start up, not only start the business, but to take it to the next level. Sabine is helping women entrepreneurs with the data analytics and the, what is required, and helping women, not only for women entrepreneurship, but for policy making. Haneen has been, just like Cynthia said, not being part of the problem, but providing a solution. So I have seen Haneen first-handed how she is supporting and hand-holding a lot of women, not only entrepreneurs, but all kind of women who are newcomers and coming to Canada. And just like Cynthia, just won $200,000 in a competition. So there is hope. So I would like to start with Sabine. Being the executive director of Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, you must have a unique perspective on the challenges women have faced in entrepreneurship. In your experience, we have been talking about the barriers and opportunities whole day, and I think the whole day is, is not enough. But what are the unique challenges and barriers you see that women face in breaking the glass ceiling? We all know the ceiling is there. So I'm not talking about the challenges, we all know the challenges. But in your experience while working with data, policy making, what has been most effective, and were you able to find any solution out for this?
Barriers. Yes, we speak a lot about barriers, but the data, I think it's key. So I'm just going to start with one. That I usually use because I think it really illustrates the challenge around, not the challenge, but the opportunity that women entrepreneurs can add to the Canadian economy. So study shows that if we advance gender equality and the participation of women in the Canadian economy, we can add up to $150 billion into the GDP. So I wanted to start with that. Then, we know that the main barriers is access to funding. And if you don't have funding, it's hard to start your business and let alone scale up your business. And we've heard that for the past 6 years. But when I see the numbers, and I'm going to start with, so two parts. The part that needs to change drastically, and then some hope. The part that needs to change drastically is VCs. Do you know that 2.3% of women get VCs funding? And only 0.35% for Black women. So when you hear that, a wake-up call should happen because they should be at the table to make decisions. They should be at the table to advance this issue around VCs. And more importantly, why at this 2024, VCs is only male-dominated and not diverse. So it's kind of an explanation of why they don't have access to funding, because obviously we're not at the table. So that's something that needs to change. I also want to speak about the fact that there is hope. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I started my business, and I'm pretty sure you also know, not so many resources were available. So you were just starting your business and doing everything by yourself, learning how to put together your business plan and marketing and everything. But now you have organizations like Futurepreneur helping the youth, or you have also BDC supporting. And I'm not saying that it's perfect, but they are there. And they're also addressing the unique case and the unique needs of our communities, BIPOC, Indigenous, Black. So that for me is important to put forward, to say that resources are here, and us, WEC, our goal is really to gather everything existing and making sure that it's accessible for everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is what, because the funding is not available because women are not getting supported. They are not making money. That's why they are not giving the money. I think, this is what we all need to do to get them at, seat at the table. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys are trying to change this. Yes.
The fact that we are, so the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy is part of the WEC is part of the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy. So the government of Canada put billions of dollars into this whole strategy. So yes, we want to make sure that they hear and see what are the issues, but I think it's the whole ecosystem. The policymakers, the government, the media has to show the different, face of entrepreneurship. Let's be more inclusive and innovation, more inclusive, more particularly, and show the diversity of entrepreneurship. But it's all together we can do it. It's not just one organization or one individual, because it really takes the whole society to be with us to advance. Because, we've made some steps, baby steps, but we're going into the right direction, I believe.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Haneen, my next question is from you. So, as your journey as a Syrian refugee to an entrepreneur and public service professional is incredibly inspiring, because you were at the places where we are talking about, the seat at the table. So you got the seat at the table. So, but what personal barriers did you face on this journey, and what actually helped you to not only overcome that dam, but also succeed as in a new country?
Thank you. That's a great question. And before I answer the question, I want to ask, is anyone in the room came to Canada as a refugee? No? Did you? From where? Well, welcome. And I'm asking this question because refugees and immigrants go through kind of similar experience, but also different. And the difference for refugee is that we did not choose the path. Most of the time you're forced to go through it, but also you are forced to go through a path that you didn't choose, with no resources, no support, and so many challenges, and that was for me. I think for me to be able to be in social entrepreneurship, work in public service, and in politics, it took a lot of courage to understand what I need to invest in myself first. And for example, for me, when I came in 2016, I had zero English. So I had to learn the language, I had to invest in the skills and the challenges that I went through. And the biggest challenge that I noticed whenever I went to apply for a job, even start an initiative or volunteer for a community event, I was hearing a message which always was the same, and it was, wait, it's not your turn. Go learn English, or go improve your skills and go do that. But I didn't know at that time that I had a lot of skills and talents that should be respected, celebrated, and valued. It took me a long time, I think, to be able to work in such spaces and to access a seat at the table. And I know earlier when we were speaking, we were talking, how do I get my seat at the table? And in many cases, in my case, was to challenge people to be at the table. So it was very challenging because of the language barrier for me, but also because I was getting that resistance that it's not your turn and you have to do much more to be there. But I also relied a lot on the support system, for example, like community members and people. And I always proved to people that I had something to share and something to add. And that was through the learnings and the people that I met and the experiences that I gathered. So yeah, I always say it was a challenging feat, but it's possible. And country, comparing to other countries I lived in as a refugee, is a country that gives so much opportunities. There are people who are interested to invest in us as women, but we just need to know how to work with these people, but also be open to collaborate and share learnings and opportunities as well.
So thank you, Haneen. So what I understand, what you are saying, that we need to be courageous. We need to be, go out there and ask for it. And at the same time, we should be able to collaborate and learn from others' experiences if you want to be succeeded. Thank you so much. So next question is to you, Sabine. So we all know restaurant is a very difficult industry to be in, and it's a male-dominated one. We know very few women. Women starting restaurants, running it, but creating a chain of restaurants, and being I would say, making a name in the industry is something totally different. So, what advice would you offer to other women or even men who would like to establish a strong foothold in the male-dominating industry of restaurant, please?
Yeah, thank you. So, coming into this industry, as Tamina said, being a woman, and not only just woman of color, it had its challenges, and it still does. But I would say if anybody, and not just restaurant business, I think in any industry you go in, you should aspire to be the champion of your trade. Expect discrimination. It's going to happen, but don't accept it. So become the champion of your trade, learn as much as you can, because you will need to do more than 100% and present yourself more than 100%, learn more so you can be taken seriously. I faced those challenges. I'm not from the hospitality industry. But I come from a background where I feel like I'm good at management, and I'm been with small businesses. I've done small businesses, failed and scaled, but I ended up with Blackstone, the idea of Blackstone, in coordination with my husband. So I knew that he was doing his magic in the kitchen and being the head chef, but I needed to take care of everything else to run and scale the business. In order to do that, I needed to take the front stage. Yes, I had my husband's support, in which I encourage, as we were talking before, that I honestly encourage males and husbands and brothers and family members and even colleagues or vendors or people or partners that you are going to be working with women, please help them. They all come from different challenges. You may not understand, but we all have challenges. So please don't see them, don't judge them as an inferior. Help them, support them, be there for them. So that's my request to all the wonderful men here, who I'm sure are supportive to their person, but help them, because I faced that challenge, and I had to push through. I had to push through, prove myself time and time again, and show up professionally. I think that is one of the most important also things that I will say, is that you are going to be triggered in different ways. Never leave professionalism. Show up professional, act professionally, and react professionally. I think that was one of the very important things that I learned today. I was able to tell my story, and we, us women, we take a lot of beating, and we take a lot of, how should I say, we're very hard on ourselves. But take your story, turn it into a success. I love somebody said here earlier that you are your own brand, and tell your story. People connect with you on that story. And that was one of my strongest points, that I come from challenging times. I have a blended family. I had my challenges. And through those challenges, I learned so much, and I incorporated those skills into my business, and I became resilient. And I think all of these women who are here, we all have stories, and we all have something to bring to the table. So as a woman, take pride in who you are. You're creative, you're intuitive, you know how to make connections. There are certain leverages that you have over men, not to minimize the men here, but we do, and those are very positive skills you can hone on if you know how to. So that's my take.
Thank you, Sabine. So yes, women are the real change makers. So Cynthia, for you, again, congratulations for winning the amount. But just like Sabine also mentioned, getting funding for our women is actually a really big thing when we see at the numbers. And I have, fortunately, I have seen you pitching. The confidence that you have, and you are natural. And when you are saying something, because just like Sabine said, most of the women has this imposter syndrome, that they don't have the confidence in themselves, they don't celebrate themselves. So what is different about you? and how you were able to do that, and not only you, because we have seen, we work with so many founders, and this is the biggest challenge for any founder, to raise funding, to get, to win any competition. So please share some tips and your magic.
Wow. Thank you for the positive words. To be honest with you, that she's talking about the win that we recently had at Elevate. It was mind-blowing for us as well, like for me and my team, when we found out that we won, $200,000. We found out on stage with everybody else. We were 40 women businesses that went into that pitching round. It was supposed to be a $100,000 investment, but as more investors were in the room from BDC Thrive or whatever, Capital M, heard us pitch, they got more excited about the opportunities, that the investment money doubled through the course of it. But to be honest with you, it's sad for me when I think about that win, because there were 40 women businesses in there pitching. And I said to some of the women, I wish I was financially buoyant, because I want to invest in you. I won, but I want to invest in you, because there were some of the most unimaginably creative, innovative business ideas coming out of that space. And I'll be honest with you, I've been in other pitch rooms where, for not as much good ideas, people were walking away with lots more money. So to me, I think that it's sad. Like, I'll give you an example. I was at this conversation, they said, do you know that erectile dysfunction receives, I think, 1,000 times more investment dollars than a woman's reproductive health? So why should you care about VC money? Maybe you're not ever going to invest in business. But if you think about your mom, your sisters, your daughters, the women in your life, even the quality of health care that they receive, it depends on VC money. It's billions and trillions of dollars being invested. And the people that make the majority of that investment dollar decision ultimately shape the way that the world we're in looks like. It's why a certain airline with very poor customer service is still thriving and doing well than another place, because VC money really talks. So, I think my success factor, because I went back and asked, was being authentic. I think that we women have an imposter syndrome. I'm a new immigrant. I'm a refugee. I'm a young black woman. I'm whatever. And when you walk in there, you're so nervous. You're losing your words. I saw people flutter. Like, there was a lady that lost track of everything she was saying and got kicked out early, but she was making, I think, $5 million annually in revenue in her business. She was a pet relocation company. I love her business. But she fluttered in the moment. She couldn't express herself. And so my thing to everybody, men, women, whatever opportunity is in front of you, even if you're going out for a loan at a bank, walk in there authentically as yourself and confidently in who you are, and that authenticity will bring you the next step you need. And if there's any decision makers in this room, know that we entrepreneurs, we're a limited resource. I tell people all the time, I get called, can you do this? Can you do that? I recognize that I'm a limited resource. So value that in yourself, but also, for decision makers and policy makers, let that funding be more accessible. Let it be less hurdles and hoops we have to jump through, because our time is limited. You're everything to everybody, So I'll stop there because I could rant for hours.
This is so relative. And again, you show your authenticity. It was so from, heartfelt, yeah. And so again, with, what you said, Cynthia, it so resonate with all of us because, when we talk about women, the word resilience come again and again. It shouldn't be. Because, when we talk about, women in entrepreneurship, so, they were being able to successful because of resilience, because of the courage. So it shouldn't be like this. But again, I have to ask, all of you, so, is it the resilience, courage, just like, I asked Cynthia, what was the thing that worked for you? That was, you are here where you are. Because definitely you are here because you have achieved something in your life. You were there. Ejibula, Haneen, Sabine, any one of you. What was your moment?
Okay, what was my moment? I'm going to take everybody down the memory lane now. Okay, so I used to be a banker. I'm still a banker at heart. So I used to I've worked at 2 of the top 5 banks in Canada. So while working at CIBC, I became an entrepreneur. And my job then was to attend to and provide for small business owners. So I was helping entrepreneurs to get funding. I go to visit their restaurants. I go into their shack. I go into every part of their operations. Just because a man wants me to see the machine he wants to buy because that will lead to more production and more revenue. And I was getting more men giving me calls that I would from women. But I never took that to be of significance, not until I became an entrepreneur myself and I wanted to scale. So I went to the competitor bank, trying to keep my affairs away from CIBC. You get what I mean? So I went to the competitor across the road and took the best of business plan that I've ever written. I mean, I write for other people, so you can imagine the one I wrote for myself. Took it there, gave it to the banker, barely sat down, and she said, I don't think you can get a loan. And I said, why? And she said, simply Ejibula, just the name on that business plan. Simply Ejibula. I don't think you've got the market. I don't think you can survive in Canada. And I said, really? Why though? I still don't understand. Because for me, it wasn't resonating with me. I was like, why? And she said, simply Ejibula. Oh, and that was when I realized, oh, it must be the Ejibula that is the problem here. And I took my badge and I placed it back on my chest, and she busted into tears because I was of a higher ranking than her in the bank. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, I hope you won't report me to my VP. And I said, no, this is beyond reporting you. This is me being shocked of the kind of service I just received today, that just by the name of my brand, without you reading my plans or what I intend to do or what I've done for myself or the growth of my brand till date, I could be denied a loan. But she would always be part of my story because now we are best of friends, but I would always bring her into my story. But that was the day I went back to my office and I decided I want to know much more that is happening in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And right there in the office, I Googled entrepreneurship, and that was the time WEC was being introduced. That was the same year. And I saw a job to work with the Alberta Innovate along with the Regional Innovation Network. I applied 2 weeks after I left the bank, just like that, just because I was an entrepreneur and I was sad at what was happening. And I was thinking, is this only me, happening to me or to other women of color, immigrants, newcomers, black entrepreneurs? And that was how we created the Sedulous Women. Because within me, I thought I was enough. I didn't need banking to survive. And that was why I could easily resign 2 weeks and get another job because I wanted to make a difference. And I thought, I'm enough, I'm unlimited, I've got to do something. Because beyond getting the financing that Sabina talked about being a challenge to women, when they get those financing, how do they sustain it? And what do I mean by this? They get funding from the bank, maybe 200,000. They manufacture this product, okay? It sits in their basement because they are still startups. They don't have a warehouse. They probably use their garage or their basement to store these inventories, right? So how do we help them to sustain this funding they just got from the bank, this 200,000, if they don't sell this inventory that the money has been used to produce? So another level of challenge. Then it becomes a third level of challenge by recognizing that their product needs to be in a place where there is a large foot traffic, like the big box stores, Walmart, Sobeys, TJX Canada. But then, how do they get the connection to that person? Who do they know at Walmart, at Costco, to get those products in? That's another challenge. But then, perhaps through organizations like what I do, they eventually get into those places. But then Costco is telling them, we need 60,000 units of your product. That's another level of challenge that requires more money because now you are dealing commercial. Or they want to put your product in 1,000 stores. And each of those stores, they want to put 1,000 of the products. Calculate that quickly. 1,000 stores and each store 1,000 products. That is mind-blowing for any woman, a startup. They will start thinking, oh my goodness, I need to go beyond my small bank now to start speaking with EDC or BDC or who can help me here. But then they start asking for assets. What assets have you got? No, I don't have any assets. I moved to Canada 19 years ago and I've worked my ass so much that I don't have that kind of assets to guarantee this funding, right? So it's a whole system issue, but it takes a lot of connection, of trying to pull down those doors. When I created Sedulous, I was building a table that was not existing. Because like you mentioned, several years ago, we didn't have organizations that catered for women entrepreneurs. None. It was the banks. But I never saw women coming to me at the bank. The men were coming to me. The men, they will call me on the phone and say, Ejibola, I'm traveling to Dubai. I just wanted you to know. So you don't come to my restaurant or you don't come to my manufacturing factory and not meet me. I became like their personal assistant. They told me everything. They come in with briefcases. They tell me about government funding that is available. They practically told me so much more. But when I call the women on my portfolio, how are you doing? How is business? It's okay. I'm fine. No, you can't be fine because the men are not fine. They keep calling me. How can you be fine? But women are always shy to show their vulnerability. Why? I need every one of us to look at the person beside us, next to us. They might be the person that might help you open that door. It might be that business card you need to get into those places you want to get to. And before we finish this panel, I've got sponsorship for women that are here. If you are in CPG, that you've got products that you're selling, I would love to get your products into the big box store. All right? So I'll give you some sponsorship today.
Thank you, Ejibula, for all of this. And it brings me to the same question again. So what are we doing now? How are we doing now? And just like Sabine said, it's not the organizations, government, policymakers, it's responsibility of all of us. So we as women, how are we doing now? I want to ask all of you.
I guess it starts by ourselves. Like, I think we have to be very true. I love what you said about authenticity, knowing your skills, knowing your expertise. Don't selling yourself low because you think that's how you will attract customers. And being surrounded. So I think on the individual level, because the study we do, we look at 3 different levels: individuals, organizational, and societal. If you look at the individual, we are all doing our work, right? Yes, we have to be confident. Yes, we have to, network, find other people, and especially women, because the boys club, like, it's a thing for real, right? We have to say it. It is a thing. Like, easily they can pick up the phone. Look at you. You just said something very clear. Pick up the phone, and this is where I'm going, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I know. But for us is we only know what we know. And one thing I would add as well is during COVID, that was a critical part, because during COVID, we were all isolated, like in our little, space, doing our own thing, trying to create, having this great idea. And again, women has like amazing idea to change not just, a product, but the whole society. And that's the difference between men and women, and how I want to say that very clearly. We think about the whole community. We spoke about another entrepreneur. She was saying she started her business because of her daughter. You spoke about your own journey. We all started because of someone, because of a community, because of the challenge around, the planet and whatever. But
a problem we see. We want
exactly. So it all comes from something. But my point here is we have to make sure that we do what we have to do to be confident. Forget about the imposter syndrome. It shouldn't be just for us, right? It's not a syndrome for women specifically. It should be removed from our language. But confidence should be included, making sure that we know our product, expertise, etc. And this is for men and women at the end of the day. So that's what I would say. And I see so much hope when I see organizations like yours being in male-dominated sector, construction, right? And also you, banking, finance. That's where we got money, but we don't see any women, and not enough women entrepreneurs. I think it's just 1% of women entrepreneurs in the financing sector. Why? So we have to challenge ourselves, and we have to do that not just for us, but also for the next generation. Big time for the next generation. Then our daughters will also feel like, I can be an engineer, I can be a banker, I can be in this field, I can be in AI. Right? So all of these, I think it's, again, doing the right thing for us, but also for the whole society.
Yeah, so this is what you are talking about, what we need to do. But what kind of support can we get from others, other organizations? What exactly we need to ask from others, for our allies? We are talking about men. What kind of support do we need? Because we cannot do it alone.
No.
Yeah. So what exactly we need to support so we can give the word out that, this is here, we are confident, we are courageous, but we need support. So what kind of support? Sabine talked about the spousal support, support from the men, the women who are in business. But exactly just like you said, Sabine, there are different levels, individual, community. So what type of support from the community do we need as a women to be there where we want to go?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to just add to that. Like, the support is a huge thing, and I'll talk about it. I just wanted to ask in this room, how many people are running businesses? Who here is running a business?
Everyone, almost everyone.
Okay, I see some hands down, but I see a lot of hands up. And I'm pro-business. I'm pro-entrepreneurship for men, women. I think Canada needs it. We businesses, we pay the taxes that keeps nonprofits running. Businesses pay the taxes that keep our government running. So I'm pro-business. And one of the things I wanted to plug out there for business is, if you work a job, having a business on the side even is a way to diversify your income and bulletproof you for economic challenges ahead. The day I started running my business, was the day I walked into my office at my job confidently, because I knew if they let me go, I'll just expand. So that confidence is something to look into and to have. One of the tools and the support today now, I'll tell you my best coworker and my best tool support, AI. I'm headed to, I won Thai Pitch Toronto, and I'm headed to India for a $1 million pitching opportunity event and stuff like that with Thai Toronto, really excited. But they are doing all these talks and preps for us, right? So at midnight, I joined these calls in India, and they're talking about AI tools for entrepreneurs. And all of us from Australia, from Dubai, calling in, our mouths are dropping at the tools that they're mentioning. Do you know how long it took me to write my business plan? It took me forever. Now, you go into these tools, and there's Canva, there's Wix AI building you website. You type what you want, it builds the whole website for you. Me and Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT are co-workers. I tell it what I want, it spits it out. Like, you should be leveraging AI for your logo, your website, everything. So that's one major tool that one place I go to for sure. But community support is big, and I think you wanted to say something about
exactly that. I wanted to work on the community support. I mean, we are here for that support system so we can plug into each other. We're not doing this just to talk. It is so important to build real connections. So when you leave out here, make sure you have at least 1 to 2 solid people that you can rely on, and you can take that next step. Don't look too far ahead. Take the next step, and it starts from rooms like these. I mean, we all start from somewhere. We all have life stories, and with women, as somebody said, that we all, the reason that we start businesses may be a little different than why men may start. I was a single mom. My husband passed away when my daughter was 9 days old, and I knew I needed to do something now to make a change. I was a social worker. I went through school, I put myself through school, but something needed to change. And I could not have done that if I didn't have 1, 2, 3 people I wanted to connect with. Networking is so important. If you find somebody who's not willing to, go to the next person. You will find somebody if your intention is clear and you're confident in what you want to do. You may not have a clear picture or a clear map, but take the next step and you'll get there. That's it.
I also wanted to add something, but I'll be addressing it to Sabine. Let us have meaningful, impactful, not meaningful now, impactful conversation with women like ourselves. I'm somebody that has that tendency to, because I'm already thinking about Sabine right now, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. She's into food, restaurants, right? Blackstone. And in my head, I'm already thinking she must have a secret recipe she uses at that restaurant. It's a unique
experience. I have an edge on.
Exactly. I would love for her to take that unique experience that she's bringing people into that restaurant and put it on the shelf. I'm already thinking of talking to you after to say, I can help you turn that recipe into a product and put it in Walmart.
We're thinking about that. That's my next step.
All right. So we need to get you into class.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
It
impactful conversations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Haneen, I would like to hear from you as well. Just say whatever you want to add.
It's so hard to follow what everyone was saying, and I think the tip that I would say is to listen to the stories and the experiences of other business women and folks who are doing incredible work. I think for me, I run kind of a different approach to entrepreneurship because I'm more like the social entrepreneurship aspect, and I work mostly in collectives. And this is something I feel like when we talk about business and when we talk about entrepreneurship, we forget, because it's not always about ourselves. Like, we have to run it alone and we have to be the face of the business. So for me, in my experience, it has always been successful because I've always picked a partner. Not just to, like divide the work and ensure like, I get more support, but also to have someone who could challenge me, but also support and uplift me, because that's the one way that we could learn. And I liked it. It's been going great for us at the collective. The sad part that now is changing, and we're probably going with a new name and a new model of like being a new organization. But I know, like having a second partner is something that I always wanted to do. And even like at the beginning when I started this collective with another co-founder, he had to leave, and he was like, I'm done with this journey. I'm starting something else. And then I was like, oh my God, like I'm alone now. So what do I have to do? And of course, that experience itself was a learning experience. But then I found myself, because I really appreciated the learning of, being with two people, but also like picking someone's brain. I had to recruit another person to lead the collective with me, because I always enjoyed that experience. So I would say it is important to always, collaborate with people, and even if it's your business, your idea, invite people to the table, because you're gonna go, to the next level with that. And lastly, and I just wanted to take a moment and say, we talked about resilience, and I talk a lot about resilience, but for me, the one thing that gave me resilience is the vulnerability. And I am very proud of, going through such, I say horrible, hard experience as a refugee, and going in like, political offices and working in public service and working in social entrepreneur and walking into spaces where I felt not seen, not heard, not existing, and I still do until this day. But I've always took that experience when I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm always reflecting on that, and I always say, if I honor my vulnerability and the experiences that I'm going through as a woman, I'm learning and I'm doing better, but also I'm more prepared to face other life challenges. So my tip for you is always honor your vulnerability and hard moments, because that's the pathway to resilience.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Haneen. So, turning your struggles into stepping stones for your success, that has, I think, worked for every woman. Sabine, I would like you to close this panel with a thought that, we as women coming as a community, how we can support other women to, take the path and be there, out there, and win it.
Wow, thank you. A lot has been said, but in terms of the whole community, in terms of the organization supporting women entrepreneurs, they're doing so much. But what I'm really hopeful is, you spoke about AI. And the type of programming that we see right now, it's all about mentorship and networking. And yes, we need these. But I think it's also important to take women, I'll say it, seriously. Yeah. AI, the new technology, like we are also sometimes behind. And it's time to change these programs and have a different perspective, to make sure that women are also like ready to launch their own website and have the capacity to do it by themselves. Because yes, it starts by all this programming, and everyone in the room can at least name one or two organizations that supported them. Right? And events like this one is also very important. So bringing topics and experts about that type of, like I said, AI, new technology, things that are very much shifting the whole ecosystem, I think it's important. And that's where we should go. And of course, we spoke about funding. That's also the discussion that we should keep going and should keep having in this type of events. So yeah, like I said, very hopeful, and thank you so much for hosting this event, and I hope we see you next year again.
Yes, Hamad will come and announce it, but I would just like to share here what you just said, that, helping women entrepreneurs with these tech skills. So Deb with us just announces. So Canada Startup Association will launching its Women Entrepreneurship Advance Up initiative, and we will be bringing those tech skills, technology skills, and whatever is required for a women, whether they are in their solopreneur journey or they are working with a team or just want to scale up. So whatever is required, we will be trying to give them those resources and bringing people like you to help them who had gone through this journey. So thank you so much for being here, and everyone for listening. Thank you so much. Doreen, please. Oh, I didn't ask. Okay, sorry. So anyone has any question? Because we are up from time. Because you were so good, I don't. But it's so. Anyone wants to have any ask it. Naila, you are smart.
The men are awfully quiet. I want questions from them.
You want? Yeah. Sure. First you ask yours and then take the mic to Naila.
Sure, sure. All right. I have been getting. Thank you so much. I think just looking at the stage, it's like a perfect example of women power, and I think this is the only, not the only, but I think in this particular segment, I was just smiling throughout, listening to your experiences, the feedback that you have for us. I think, Temina, something that you mentioned really resonated with me. You said that resilience is not how it should be. And that's really true for women. I feel for us, I mean, men are resilient as well in their own capacity, but for women, when we talk about resilience, society and people around us, they tend to glorify it. Like it's something like a heroic badge that we wear. We have to be resilient, and wow, she's so resilient. But that shouldn't be the case. Like all of you suggested, we do need systems, we do need support, we do need education, we need that backing that kind of like helps us take the next step. All of you are successful. I am very, very new to the entrepreneurial journey. I think when you look back to where you started from, you look back to it and you must remember the challenges that you went through, that fear and that nervousness that you had in you. I'm just there, I'm like a few months into it. I'm figuring stuff out. And in this time, a lot of people that I've spoken to have, instead of providing me constructive criticism, have just shot ideas down, which is something that all of you mentioned in your journeys as well. So what I would just say is something that I learned from all of you, and something that I'd like to share with the audience as well, is to just stick it through. And Sabine, you mentioned it, bring more than 100% and just keep going, because what happens is, and what I realized even from coming today is, that the conversations that I hear, it helped me refine my idea even more. So had someone not rejected my idea 2 months early on, I wouldn't have been here. I would have been working on something which is just, halfway there. It wouldn't be better. So I think these steps, just have faith in them. It just takes you one step closer to what you want to achieve. And I think I'm not young, but it's never too late to begin your entrepreneurial journey. That's what I think. Thank you. Thank you for your advice and your feedback.
I just want to add something. Hello, can you hear me? What's your good name? Sorry? Kamal. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I just want to add something. You talking about the very beginning, when we see people, successful people, we see them, we glorify them, we iconize, that wow, they're so successful, but we do forget their beginning journeys. I started by selling light up balloons. And I did it when I was working as a social worker. And I had, the big thing is, do not feel shame. Yeah. It can be the smallest thing you do. It may not make you money, but the confidence it's going to give you and the skills it will give you is all you need. And it will be the first step you take towards your success. So.
Very good.
Yay.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so inspired by the talk of the panel. And my name is Jie Xu. And I work in tech, and now I'm pivoting to starting my coaching business, and this is my first year. So I am learning so much here. I'm so inspired by every one of you guys. And when you are talking about asking for help and asking for support, so one thing that I've been thinking about is networking is so important. It's so important for us to understand what's going on, to connect with each other, to know where we can get funding, where we can bring our business to the next level. But how many networking events happens at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.? And this is really hard for women, especially for mom, but because that is the time that we need to take care of our little ones. And like of course, like my husband is very supporting to me starting my own business, but I just can't just go to every single networking event every single night, because that's also not how I want to live my life, right? So, and I think that's something that we can all think about, how we can support each other, and also the men's, and also the people who are in VC, in the companies, and who are organizing the event and organizing networking groups, and how we can support each other and make sure we have a work-life balance. And someone mentioned mental health earlier. I think that's also important. We don't want to burn ourselves out just doing business, because we want to have a balanced life. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. My question is to all of you, and anyone could choose to answer. Not every day is the same, right? So some days are down, some days it's a lot of energy and lots of motivation and drive. My question is that, how do you pick yourself up as leaders, as entrepreneurs, and especially as women who are in business? What strategies you use?
I can definitely start with that. Again, like I said, you're a limited resource. And so, respect your time, work with people that respect your time. Also, put yourself in spaces where people recognize your value. Sometimes I feel like, as an entrepreneur, you're serving, you're doing, you're cooking everything, you're balancing balls in the air. But I make sure that I put myself in spaces where my cup is filled and where my values recognized. So if, how does that look like? It's just like, I don't know if you've heard that famous story of a father gives his son a car as a graduation gift. And he's like, this is all I have for you. I saved up, I bought this over the years, sell it off for yourself. And this son takes this beat up old car to sell it. And the first place he goes, they says, no, we can't, it's worth nothing. It's worth less than the junk. The second place he goes to, they're like, oh, this is a vintage vehicle. I could give you this for it. And then the last place he went is like, oh, it's a collection item. It's worth millions. Not everybody will see your value with clients, as well as with investors or funding agencies. But if I walk in through a process where I'm not valued and I don't feel like it's gonna be beneficial, pack your things up and move on to the next, like you said. So that's one of the things I do to guard my mental health. And I don't believe it's a balance necessarily. Like, I don't think, you can perfectly juggle it 100. There's sometimes where my business is taking a lot more out of me, and my family is understanding, and I'm truthful with them as to what the journey is. There's some times where I'm working very late hours with the business, and then there's other times where I tell my team, I'm going on vacation for the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to be there. You got to schedule it in. You got to prioritize it. It may not always be, a nice, perfect balance. That's what I will say.
I'll just add and say it's okay to say no. And this is something it took me years, like, to actually learn how to say no. And I remember the experience where I had to go through like really hard, like, health problems, like physical health problems, because I never said no. And I'm like, you know, like, I'll just help this person and say this and do this and go to this networking event, until like my body completely shut down. And there where I noticed I actually have to take care of myself first and put myself first. And it's been 2 years for me since I started, you know, being okay with saying no to people, even though, like, I know we like people, we like our clients, we like our customers, and we actually need to keep them happy. But it's okay to say no when you need to say no, but also when you're not uncomfortable. And I think that takes a lot of courage, especially for women. So that would be my tip: saying no when you have to say no.
For me,
Thank you so much, everyone. Yuga, you would like to say something?
yeah, I just wanted to say, for me, what I tell myself is, Ejibola, it's okay to be selfish when it comes to my self-care and wellness. When I'm overwhelmed, when I wake up in the night crying because a business deal did not work out, or my inventory is stuck on the sea at BC, at that time when they did the BC strike, and I was losing money, I tell myself, Ejibola, it's okay to be selfish at this point. Yourself first now. What will take me out of that moment, that mode, that depression? And the things I do, I've studied. You need to study yourself, what works for you at certain situations in life. If I have a business deal that is not working out and I'm about to lose money, I speak to a mentor. I have a special business mentor at that time. And for me, I believe I can't get business advice from somebody that is not an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, but you can't give me business advice if you are not an entrepreneur yourself, because you don't understand what I'm saying. So, different situations, I apply different techniques to it. There are times when I might be depressed and I really need that, I need to be alone. And I would just want to take that vacation, or just be in the room listening to a music, or just go on that podcast. So study yourself, know what works for you, and please, when it comes to your mental health and state of mind, be selfish. Yes.
Be selfish.
So always find a niche where you don't have competitors. Like, for example, I have second business called as Halal Products. I'm selling prayer mats, Quran, Islamic products online. And you know who's my only competitor? Amazon. I hate that guy. I tell, Alhamdulillah, if every Muslim here buys a product of $50 or $100 from me, I will beat this guy someday. So, inshallah. And the fourth point is self-motivation. Always be motivated, and the journey comes through because you're self-motivated. Thank you. I'm sorry I took your time.
Thank you.
Really nice meeting you all. Oh, yes. I need to, do you have a card? I'll come to the restaurant.
Just put that on here.
There you go. There you go.
Because everybody was talking about AI, I just wanted to call attention to one lady who's sitting over there at that table. Her name is Mani Bandari, and she and her husband run a company called AI Empower. They do a couple of things. They do education in AI, and they do business consultancy, and they do some amazing work. So if you need help with AI, contact Mani. You know, I was sitting here listening to everybody, and I realized why men are more successful than women. Because they have a brotherhood. Men hang out together, they have football night, they play golf together. But women don't do that. Women are in their own silos by themselves. So maybe we need to be more like men. So I know we've kept Councillor Natalie Hart waiting for a long time. I'd like to call her up to the stage. She is the councillor of Ward 5 in Mississauga and very passionate about serving her community. Welcome, Councillor Hart.
Thank you all so much. And certainly while I'm passionate about serving my community, this is a particular topic that is near and dear to my heart. Many of you wouldn't know this, but I spent over 25 years in the financial services industry, primarily as a commercial lender. And so when the panel was talking earlier about how you don't see women in banking all that often in those business-related roles and everything else like that, you're not wrong. When I was working in one area, once you went past London, I was the only female account manager in the commercial space for miles. You had to go, again, past London. You could go all the way up Sarnia, all the other areas. There was another community I worked in where none of the banks had ever had a female commercial account manager in that community. So there's a lot of barriers that still need to be broken on that space, but today I'm excited to be here on behalf of our mayor and all of City Council and to bring remarks. It is incredible to see a startup that is so focused, especially in Ward 5, which is the second largest commercial zone in all of the country, that is focusing on the value and the opportunities created by immigrant entrepreneurs and BIPOC entrepreneurs in particular. That is the backbone of, as you mentioned earlier, our taxation base here in Mississauga. Ward 5 represents 24% of the city's tax base, and there are 11 other wards. And that is in no small part due to the power and the activity of the businesses that are throughout this. And many of them start as small startups. They grow into those spaces, and that's one of the things that makes this ward so unique, is that we have large commercial spaces and small commercial units and opportunities for people to grow through and grow into those. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of tours of some young businesses and some established businesses. And I hope that someday many of you in this room will be inviting me out to see what you're doing and how you're changing your own personal worlds. And so it's really exciting, and I'm very grateful to the organizers of this event. You can see she's very busy speaking, so I won't say her name and distract her from the conversations. But it is truly an honor to be able to bring greetings on behalf of the city to this, but more so to have the opportunity earlier to listen to the panel and hear their stories. I would say that the advice around networking, the advice about being bold, and the advice about having self-confidence is a very important part of it. Becoming a politician is still not an easy journey for many women, and municipal politics more so, because there's no party support network. You are your own party. You are your own team builder. So it is, in that extent, very much an entrepreneurial aspect as you develop your own platform, i.e. your business plan and everything else. Maybe I should have used AI a little bit more, but for next time, I'll consider doing that. But the confidence to do it, the confidence to go out and ask, and the discipline that that takes is tremendous. And so I congratulate all of you on making time to focus on your own goals by being here today and looking at how you can grow your businesses, because it is difficult to find time to do that. And it's great that you've made your businesses such a priority that you're giving them the time to grow. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope that you all are able to take away something that helps you become more successful in the future. Thank you for having me. Okay, so for the next part, and I think this is the last piece on the agenda today, we're going to be showcasing some startups. Hamad is just rounding them up from the other hall there. They're on their way here. So just hang tight for a minute or two, and we will bring them up on the stage. Okay, here they come. So we've got some refreshing businesses to present to us their innovative solutions. And who's coming up first? Okay, we've got people coming up. Great. So do you guys know who's going first? Or okay, so what's your name? Sorry? Mohsen, of course I know your name. Of course we've spoken. Okay, but can we start with them first? No? Wait, okay. I see we've got a cricket bat here and a helmet. Interesting. I think we've lost most of everybody. I think after lunch, everybody went home. Pretty.
That's it? Okay, so we're going to have Mohsen up first, who's going to talk about his business, and then we'll just kind of move down the line here. So Mohsen, if you want to come up and do your thing.
So very interesting, right? By the way, going from BIPOC, 4 women to 4 guys, Desi guys on the stage, that's a good change. But thank you everyone for having me here. I will wait for Kamal to take a good picture while I'm on stage. Oh, perfect, there we are. So very quickly about myself and what I've been trying to build over here. I'm a big believer of creating impact for people. And over the past 2 years, there's a lot of people who've been losing jobs. So what I did about a year and a half is I started creating a smart interview coach that leverages AI to give you personal, meaningful, actionable feedback. Now imagine that your biggest asset is you. And from a technical point of view, you know that you're good, but you're not able to sell yourself. That's where I've tried to create something which helps you navigate that process by being the best you can in that particular situation. Take it as an example. The way that my platform works is, give me your resume and the job description that you're applying for. My AI model will curate an ideal interview for you that you're applying for. And you come in a Zoom-like environment and record your answers to 15 minutes of question. It's long enough for us to get meaningful insights, but short enough that people don't drop out. After you finish that, my AI models take it, break it, and give you feedback for your improvement, not generic feedback, but personal, actionable feedback. Like, are you talking too fast, too slow, too loud, using filler words like maybe, like, or for that matter, most importantly, did you speak and answer the right things? Did you use your resume? Did you use the right keywords? Did you use the STAR approach? Did you show impact? So a lot of the things that go into the performance of your execution is how you will get better at your interview performance. And that's my cue. But thank you so much for your time, guys. It's difficult getting me off the stage. I give him credit for forcing me. Thank you so much. In case you want to see me, I'll be outside for another couple of minutes. I love to collaborate in different environments, so feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Mohammad Hadi and I am founder of the XREF, and we are empowering athletes through virtual reality data-driven betting simulators in cricket and baseball. So how does it work? You put on the VR headset and you grab a standard cricket bat in your hand, and it allows you to face any type of delivery that is possible in the cricket, or the possible by human, or even those deliveries which are not possible by a human. And it allows you to practice on any type of pitch condition, like Indian pitches, Australian pitches, England pitches, and it records all of your body movements, your performance, and it gives you detailed analysis of your strengths and weaknesses. So this is, you can say, the new feasible solution, which is right now deployed in some of the cricket academies in Canada as well, and you can use it at home as well. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Munawar Khan, and I have a software engineering background, and I also have taught undergrad for about 6 years. And then I left this profession because of one of the biggest problems teachers are facing around the world, that is creating lesson plans and lesson resources, because it is a huge burden and takes a lot of time outside of the classroom hours. How big is the problem? Well, quite honestly, I lost my hair because of that. So I founded TeachBuddy.ai, and what TeachBuddy AI does is helps creating lesson plans and lesson resources that teachers can actually implement in their classrooms. It started as a little bit of experiment, but within under a year, it is now being used by teachers in around 50+ countries in the world. We're just trying our best to make it more personalized and create more differentiated lesson plans so that we could help every single country and every single teacher in the world. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. How much time do I have, Ahmad bhai? 45 minutes? Okay. My name is Zishan, and I have a software house, which pretty much every other person has in Ontario. But what's unique about us is that let me put it this way. People come and ask me, how many employees do you have? What's your revenue? And my simple answer is, just tell us your problem and we will solve it through IT. I'm not a person good with numbers, so the time is now. If you want to connect with me, with our company, our organization, this is the best time that we are starting up, because our goal is to be in 5 years, to be the top IT consultancy firm in 5 years from now. So time is now, guys. Please come and talk to us. Maybe because after 5 years, I might not be able to settle you in my calendar. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, so this is now my turn to speak. But thank you very much for your patience and so since morning we did quite a lot actually. If I may just grab your attention here. I was working as well, so I was running around, I was taking some notes. And I have 15 points to share with you, something that I picked up in these conversations that happened. Point number one, if you want to make money, start exporting, period. Right? That was something that we heard from EDC. So let's start looking at the opportunity to start exporting, whether you're a technology company or whether you're a service provider or you're a manufacturer. Just think how your business could become an export-oriented business. The other thing, what I learned is that you can be a tiny service provider, but you can work on projects that are offered by Government of Canada, as low as $25,000. I think there were 3 categories: $25,000, $40,000, and $100,000 for the construction projects. So you can start as little as $25,000. Business challenges will remain. I worked in 12 countries. I have not found a single country where there are no business challenges. There will always be challenges. So one of my mentors long time ago asked a question. He said, if you're traveling in universe and you reach to the edge of the universe, what would you see after that? And just think, you are at the edge of the universe, you will see another universe. Because universe is not ending, it's infinite, right? So the opportunities in businesses are also infinite, technically speaking, so as the challenges. There will be new challenges every day. Communities, working in communities really helps. So build your communities or be part of active communities. Be part of policy development process. So have your voice heard. So what you did today in the roundtable discussion, your input has already been captured in shape of a document, which we will fine-tune, of course. We used AI, by the way, to quickly summarize it for us, just to see what people have said. In the interest of time, I won't go in details, but we will share that information with everyone through our website. Another thing that Gerard said from New Canadian TV is that media is not so forthcoming. So I'm from Pakistan. In Pakistan, I think almost everyone in media knew me. So bringing media together was not an issue. But here, they don't listen to you. So I don't know what you have to do to be able to bring them on the table, but these amazing stories that are coming out of these meetings have to be highlighted. So media has to do more in projecting immigrant and BIPOC entrepreneurs. Try to get a seat on the table. I think Haneen said that. Try to get the seat on the table so that your voice is heard. Capitalize on your skills. So we all, almost everyone who migrates here, at least someone as old as I am, we bring in some interesting knowledge set or skill sets. So capitalize on that. There was a lot of discussion about women facing entry barriers in the Canadian ecosystem. That will go away only when you find your space on the table and your voice is heard. Say things that people would hear, listen to, and act upon. To get investment, if you're looking for investment, be authentic, period. I think that was something, I don't remember who said it, but I was just taking quick notes. Build partnerships. Build partnerships. That's really, I think that's also Haneen said, that build partnerships because, so I always say, people think of competition. I think there is no competition out there because there's so many people doing things. So instead of wasting your energies on looking at competition or fighting with the competition, try to bring people on your side, build collaborations. Try to unlearn because we have been told this thing works this way. Maybe 5 years ago, because things are evolving too quickly, things happen in a very different manner. So try to unlearn. Okay, not everyone will see you as someone who provides value, unfortunately. But that's unfortunate for them, not for you. If they don't see you as someone who's providing value, you have to look at yourself and move on. And learn to say no. These are 15 points that I captured in today's conversation. I want to end this on this today's session on an interesting funny note is that Mavish, your name is what? Mavish, right? No. Yeah. Kaval, right, sorry. So Kaval said things about she's starting and people are not believing in her. I started my entrepreneurial journey at the age of 55. I'll be turning 60 in December. And my wife still does not believe me. Because I had always been a corporate professional, right? So, and she was used to of me getting a monthly paycheck and stuff. In entrepreneurship, sometimes you get, sometimes you only spend, right? So she still doesn't believe me. But the deal that I struck with her was, okay, let me experiment with this for 2 years. And if I fail, then I will see what I have to do. So when I've spent 2 years, I said, I've already spent 2 years. Now people know me. I can't go back and start work for somebody else. So that's how I am kind of taking it. But on the reality is that people suffer from something what we call self-limiting belief. It's not for you, for others as well. So they don't believe in you because they don't believe in themselves. Ignore them. Move on. Thank you very much for being here, for such a wonderful participants in this conversation. Next AGAZ Summit is going to happen at the same venue on 23rd of September 2025. So be ready for that. And we are very encouraged, me and Tamina both, because during the course of today, 3 organizations already have reached out to us to contribute towards the next AGAZ Summit. So if anybody is interested in starting that conversation now is the time, because we're going to put up a bigger event, and we will hopefully bring in more politicians to listen to us, and we'll do our policy advocacy to help ease the challenges startups face in this ecosystem. So thank you very much. All the best. I think there is still some coffee out there. If you want to take a shot of caffeine before you drive. I have to drive all the way to Oshawa, so I'll probably take one more shot of coffee. But thank you very much. You've been so amazing.